Hi there, welcome to the Jazz Room Live. I'm your host, Joan Watson-Jones. Today we take you to the Acton Jazz Cafe in Acton, Massachusetts. Not long ago, our band had an opportunity to host one of their Sunday afternoon jam sessions. We'll introduce you to established jazz artists, those who are up and coming, and yes, even one or two who are performing with a band in front of a live audience for the first time. We welcome you to our jazz community. Enjoy the fun and the great music. welcome to the Jazz Room Live, and we're sitting here in the Acton Jazz Cafe. We just finished it was a kickin' jam session, wasn't it?
Great, wonderful. I told you, you throw a great party, Joan.
Thank you. We are talking with saxophonist Paul Combs. Welcome, Paul.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Joan. I'm glad you told me about this, and I was really happy to be here. I had a ball, especially since I hadn't heard Frank and Alvin for a while, and everybody, you know. But it just was really very, very nice.
Well, this was great, and I was glad we had you sit in. Now, I know you play saxophone, but I know you play different saxophones. Tell us about them.
Well, I play all four saxophones of the quartet: the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the baritone. Not so much baritone anymore, but lately I've been mostly focusing on soprano and alto. And I brought my soprano tonight because the last time I saw you here, ended up playing with singers a lot, and with female singers, and so the soprano sits above pitch-wise, and it works better so I brought the soprano. Soprano is actually my first saxophone. That's what I started on. I switched from trombone, and my folks said, we bought you trombone already, so you're going to have to buy your own saxophone. And so I went down. I'm a city kid. I went down to the pawn shop, and they kind of sold them by the pound then. So I got this little Busher curved soprano, and I went home and and I started, you know, and then I started taking some lessons and whatnot. So I'm comfortable with the soprano as an old friend. Yeah.
Okay, so now I know that you play a lot and you're out, but you also teach, don't you?
Yes, I do a lot of teaching. I teach mostly private lessons these days. Sometimes do some lecturing. I do some lecturing up in New Hampshire, actually, for the Humanities on the Go program in New Hampshire, and on occasion I even get to sub for Joe Lovano at Berkeley every now and then. So when Joe needs me, I go and cover for him, which is a gas, you know. And I have my own teaching studio now in Cambridge, where I'm doing private teaching, and I'm hoping to start running some classes for like adult beginners and for children, and we'll see what happens. It's coming along pretty well.
Well, you've got enough to keep you busy now, don't you?
That's what it seems like, yes.
And on top of all that, you've written a book. Can you tell us a bit about that book?
The book is about the great Tadd Dameron, composer, arranger, pianist, and one of the sometimes called the architect of bop, one of the founding fathers of modern jazz. Although he's not really appreciated for that generally, except by us musicians who know him. And that was sort of why I decided to try writing the book. So we're real close to having it done, and I hope by the time people see this, it will be available. It's coming out on University of Michigan Press, and it's going to be called Dameronia, The Life and Music of Tadd Dameron.
That sounds great. That sounds great, because I've been hearing about this book for a long time.
Oh, yes, I'm afraid you have, and a lot of people, everybody says, you finished that book yet, Paul? It's quite an adventure trying to write a non-fiction book for an academic press. They make you work very, very hard, but that's so that we get good quality. So I get a lot of tough love in this.
Now I know that you have a little big band. You notice I said little big band. How big is your big band?
It's little. It's only 9 pieces.
So it's a little big band.
Yeah, that's what we call them. It's like jumbo shrimp, you know. It's like, and 9-piece band. It's 7 years old now, as we're speaking now. So, and I have still 5 of the original guys with the band, and it's interesting. It is this lovely community we have. You had Val Marcantonio doing tap dance tonight.
Yes.
Well, her husband Paul was the original drummer with that band, and it was through the hospitality and graciousness of the Marcantonios that I was able to start the band, because we first rehearsed for about 6 months in Val's studio in the basement of their house. So anyway, things come around. But the band's going strong. We play every other week pretty much at a place in Haverhill called the Chit Chat Lounge. And when we're not there, we have other fine jazz entertainment. Chit Chat Lounge, 6 to 10 every Sunday evening, unless there's the Super Bowl.
Well, that sounds great. Well, thanks so much, Paul Combs, for coming and taking the time to sit down and talk with us right after we finished and had the jam session. And, you know, we're just sort of keeping things going. Thanks so much, Paul.
Well, you're very welcome. It's been my pleasure, and thanks for the great party.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone.
1, 2, 3.
Never wink back at fireflies. Now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. Never went in for afterglow or candlelight.